All right, guys, welcome back to Dark Discoveries. I'm Jimbo.
And I'm Dustin.
Dustin.
What's
This
up?
is not our typical episode. We don't have any topics.
No, we just got some stuff to catch up.
We got some breaking news. I guess. Urgent news.
Some of the news they told in public, so we can break it, even if it's not broke the news, because they told us it was public.
This is true. So, Dustin, why don't you kick us off where one of the first things we're going to talk about?
So it's not in order, but we were recently invited to be a part of as a panel for the play Hell's Belle, a dark comedy about Indiana's first serial killer, Belle Gunness. We were kind of emceeing this deal. We had some experts there. That
I
we were
have the
talking
expert
to.
names. We had Colleen Brandyberry, who was a true crime scene investigation unit supervisor in Naperville, Illinois. I mean, we've all seen CSI depicted on TV, and let me just tell you something. Colleen was the real deal.
Yep, and she, like I said, she debunked all the myths about how TV's real.
Right. I said, so you don't mean to tell me that not every case is solved within 45 minutes with commercials,
That,
right?
The first 48, we got to,
Right. So a very, very interesting. I'd love to have her on the podcast if we can get her contact information. I think she'd be great. And then another one, this lady really blew my mind. Her name was Andy Simmons. She's a forensic anthropologist, and she's also a lawyer, but she also studied the Belle Gunness case thoroughly, shall we say.
Deep, yeah,
right. She was actually in the port, actually got permission to dig up the remains, and what they found inside was not just one person, but also, I think she said 3 children buried all in the same casket.
Well, okay, you said that the thing. So she was part of exhuming the bodies from the graveyard.
Right.
And some of the information she gave us was, and at first I was thinking, is it like to defraud somebody that's paying for this?
Right.
It was just, I think, a sticky situation. So the 3 children that were at the Gunness farm when it burnt down were kind of mixed around into a couple coffins, not out of, negligence. It's just kind of the way everything, I don't want to get too gross, but kind of was stuck together when the fire and the decomp. Well, the bodies were in pretty good shape, she said.
That's what she said. Like,
so
they
it's
couldn't even tell they've been burned.
But it may have been moved or something. I don't know. But she was able to actually help get some DNA and try to help work and further some of the information on what we know. Because, the inconsistencies, if that was really Belle Gunness that was there, we don't know. Sounds like she's on kind of the Dustin train that she probably did escape, but there's no concrete proof. But I want to thank South Bank Theater Company.
Mm-hmm.
The Shelton Auditorium at Butler University is a
awesome.
It's not a huge theater, but it
about
is
400 people probably.
Yeah, it's probably one of the cooler theaters that we've been to. The atmosphere was really cool. Thank you to Amalia Harris, Howard.
Jeez, Dustin, why you
Howard, Amalia? You kind of made me mad when you went pro Lord of the Rings. So
he's still holding a grudge, Amalia.
I'm gonna have to probably give you a little bit of a hard time on that. But thank you, Amalia, for inviting us. What
an amazing writing she did for that. I was thoroughly entertained by that production.
There's a reason she won the rights to do that and won the award.
But I mean, I'm sure it's exciting for her just to see from her what she wrote and her vision to reality. Exactly. And Lisa Marie Smith, who we had on our Belle Gunness episode, as she played Belle in this.
At first, I was like, "Why would you write this and not be the star?" And
it was fantastic. And the way that they set it up is, you are actually participating in the play. You are the jury, because Nellie, which was Belle's sister, who is played by Amalia,
is kind of playing like a lawyer type role, telling the story.
She's talking to the audience, and then she fades back into the scene, and it goes on, and then she'll like pause it, break the fourth wall, come back out, and that's why jury, or she'll even say something. And that audience in today's money is, if you are in the Indianapolis or surrounding areas, or even Ohio, Michigan,
Illinois, it's worth a 2-3 hour drive.
Fantastic. And I think it's only like $20 a ticket.
$20 a ticket, and I think you have till May 3rd.
Yeah, so this is a emergency. If you need
May 2nd.
If you need a date this weekend, do something fun, Check them out.
You can take your wife to a play, and you can.
Dustin took his wife, and she enjoyed it.
Yeah, and my wife does not like true crime, and she laughed and said it was a good time.
Well, I think she was just getting ideas about what she could do.
She's like, "Where can I get some strychnine?"
But I'm telling you, there is a part in this play that had me in stitches, and where she was going up the murder count, and it was just funny. And not only them two, but the two gentlemen that were there. I don't have their names in front of me. I'm sorry.
In front of
they were fantastic, dude. So this whole play is put on by 4 people. There's only four characters, but they play multiple people, and it is fantastic.
Except for Belle. Belle was Belle was Belle and nobody else. But
right.
I guess you can't put her in a different spot. She's got to be just the one character because she's there 90% of the time.
And I mean, the way that they go about. We're not going to spoil anything because we want you to see it, but I'll say something and Dustin's going to laugh. Dustin, what about Belle's children?
Oh, man.
Don't give it away, though. It's fantastic, though, isn't it?
That's one of the best parts. And as a person who doesn't go to a lot of plays, I really like the way they did certain props.
Right, and those were fantastic.
Because you're limited on a stage, unless you're a big budget where you can roll stuff out. I mean, we're talking a stage that's probably only 25 feet wide, 15, 20 feet deep. They're not big stages, and you have to set the scenes up. And you can, your imagination takes hold in some of this. And it was just, it's good to know that Amalia and her sense of humor really shine through in a lot of the story. Because if it wouldn't have been comedy, it would have been boring. And and Belle Gunnis is a fascinating case.
And the way Lisa portrayed Belle, it was perfect.
Yeah. I didn't think, you'd think, well, she was a big,
And Dustin even said something which is rare for Dustin driving on the way home. He said, just the facial expressions of Amalia while Belle is talking about falling in love with one of the guys or whatever. She said he was watching her facial expressions, and he said, that's a great actress when she can draw you in just from her facial expressions. And I thought for Dustin to recognize something like that, that must be something really special.
Oh, yeah. And it's just one of those, because, you don't have a lot of props to use, and you don't have all this fancy, CGI and green screen. So you have to tell the story with your face, your facial expressions. And like I said, it was done really well. Hopefully we can get her on here and talk about it. I hope that she's able to get somebody to pay the fee.
Well, I was going to say something else that they were very transparent about, and this is the first time I have ever seen this anywhere, is they put the total production cost of this play in the playbill. I have never seen that before, but you know what?
When you're charging $20 a ticket and you may be like, well, the concessions are a little high. There's a reason, because this is a very niche type play.
Mm-hmm.
All these plays that you see, I didn't know until working with Jackie that a lot of these big name plays, only one theater at a time across, I'm guessing, the country.
And this is the world premiere of this.
Yes. You can only have, you have the rights to this play, and nobody else can do it until you're done and they get the rights. So you have to make the most of what you got. And it's being, I'm guessing this is the first play she's ever wrote. I could be wrong. But being that it's a very niche concept and type of play, it's probably going to be tough to get people to want to come in and watch because of, well, it's dark comedy, it's a serial killer. Do we want to go? Because I was like, I'm excited to see how you're going to pull this off, because I know the story. How can you tell the story? But if you kind of tell it in a courtroom setting, like as if she survived or you're putting her on trial, it makes more sense. And like I said, it was a fantastic time. I'm so happy that they invited us to be a part of it.
Oh, it was great. And do yourself a favor, skip going out on a date Friday night to get Texas Roadhouse or stay in and ordering pizza and watching movies. Do yourself, gentlemen, grab your lady.
Yeah.
And maybe pick up a rose or something. Say, I got something special planned for you. Take her down there. It'll be an evening you will not forget. I guarantee you will love this play. I never thought Dustin would be a play guy, but here we are. We've seen 2 in the last year, Dustin.
And you're only like 5 minutes from John Dillinger's grave.
That's another thing. Before we went, we stopped over at Crown Hill Cemetery and saw John Dillinger's grave and his family's grave.
Yep. And it's just, it's a good date night. Like my wife is awesome. She lets me do a lot of things that she doesn't necessarily have to be a part of or want to be a part of, but she lets me go do a lot of things, podcasting, going to races, and she let me race for a brief time before I decided to hang it. Like, she's awesome. And to give back and do things that she enjoys is just as rewarding as doing things that I want to do. So take her out. And then if you're in the Indiana area, Jackie's going to be in a play coming up in...
I might be soon, like
I'm trying to think
next week. Are you talking about the Red Barn?
Is it June that the Red Barn starts?
No, I think it's later in the summer, but I
think it's
June or July.
I think it's like June or July. The German Tropics. It looks to be,
she is the leading lady in it.
Looks to be like that's gonna be a fun place. So hit up the Red Barn Summer Theater in Frankfort, Indiana.
It's a great place too.
It's an awesome little thing. It's a different vibe. They do fantastic work as well. Small venue. Go support your local arts and, take your wife out, go enjoy a good evening with some, something fun and do something different. So there's lots of fun stuff. You can support Jackie, the whole community with doing that. So I know Indiana's a stronghold for this podcast. Go back in, even if it's not there, go invest in your local community, your local theater, do things that help your community thrive.
Right. So if you're in the Indianapolis area, head to the Shelton Auditorium. That is 1000 West 42nd Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46208. They will sell tickets to you there at the door if they're not sold out. I highly suggest checking South Bank Theater website.
And if you open up the first page, I think it is of
well, not the first page. I think it's the middle page. There is a Dark Discoveries promo in the middle of that program. That is something to keep. Once again, Amalia, and South Bank, and Marcia, we thank you for allowing us to be just a small part of this play. It was fantastic. And we really wish, I want the DVD. That's all I'm saying, right?
I got staged for it. Like I will talk behind a microphone.
Oh, Dustin buttoned up like a new boot.
You throw me out there and it's like, okay, the people here watching we may not be their cup of tea, but almost everybody stayed and listened, and we had good audience participation. I'm comedic relief. You don't want to put me up there reading promos because I'm going to screw it up.
And like I said, those two ladies that did the talk back with us, Andy and Colleen, they were so knowledgeable about stuff that I felt like the dumbest person on that campus. Dustin might be below me, but it was just interesting to meet them, to pick their brains a little bit with questions. We had the audience participate in questions. But not only that, but as we're leaving, we're talking to several people there. Just being friendly, get to know people and talk about stuff. That's what it's all about. So,
I'm more of a one-on-one guy. So when we record this, I'm looking either at a computer screen or Jim and Jackie face to face. I'm a small group person. So it's good to start putting me out there a little bit to get my feet underneath me. And we had people talk, we're going to download this, or we already have, or I'm doing it now. And that was cool, but to see the reaction of the play itself was rewarding.
Standing ovation.
Just because, if you got something you're passionate about, chase it. And that's what she did.
And she won.
And I just, I gave you a standing ovation now if I could, if it wouldn't sound like crap to the microphone. But I was thoroughly entertained.
If Dustin could get out of the chair, right?
Sometimes I can sit and have RBF, and I may not laugh out loud, but sometimes I'm just laughing in my head because I don't want people looking at me for laughing like a lunatic.
No, but it was a great time. Well, Dustin, not only that, but about several days before that, we had the opportunity. There was a thing on Facebook that popped up. It said Fox Hollow Farms identification update. And I was reading it and I sent it to Dustin. I said, Dustin, look, we need to try to go to this. He said, all right, let's go.
And it's funny because that's something that I already kind of had working in my mind on an episode. So be on the lookout for that coming pretty soon.
Hopefully soonish. But we're trying to dive deep into all this research because there's so much. And we want to make sure, number one, that we're giving you good information. And if it's going to be long information, we want it to be good and right information.
And we want it to, if it's more than one part, we want it to tell a story and to make sense.
Right.
Because there's a lot of information unpacked in the Fox Hollow murders. There's just a lot to take in, and you have to set everything the time frame, and we're trying to lay it out in order to where it tells a fluid story.
Right. So to give the audience, to give you guys an idea what this is about, on Hulu there is a documentary called The Fox Hollow Murder Farm or Farm Murders or something. It's a 4-part series, and what it is, it's about a house up here in the Fox Hollow area.
So in Westfield,
in Noblesville,
Indiana,
right?
Yeah, it's in Westfield, which is kind of butting up to Carmel.
Right on the Monon Trail.
And Carmel is one of the richest zip codes in the country. Well, in the early 1990s, mid-90s, I guess, this was 16 acres. I'm assuming by itself. The Monon Trail probably didn't exist yet. I don't know exactly when
it came in the 1990 or 92, I do believe.
Okay, so it was already kind of there, which is kind of scary.
But I think this happened before. This mostly happened in the 80s.
Mostly the mid to early 90s. And we have a potential serial killer that lived there that did his crimes there when his family wasn't there. This is a giant, basically a mansion. Anything over like 5,600 square foot's a mansion, like 16 acres, lots of wood. Bodies were hidden and buried on this property. There's a lot that goes into the story, and I don't want to give out too much right now.
So long story short, there was over 10,000 bones that were found on this property that they had collected.
Bones and fragments.
And they haven't even really searched the rest of the property. I think they said in that documentary they've only searched 50% of the area.
And they're thinking that there could be 24-ish bodies on the property is what they think that victim count could be. Maybe more, maybe less.
So the thing that we went to, it was at the Prairie View Funeral Center.
Man, if I can choose where to be buried,
that was awesome. There. But it was hosted by one of our local news ladies from WTHR, I do believe. Eva, I can't remember her last name, from Inside Edition was there. I've been watching her since I was a kid. Well, not a kid, but I mean a grown adult. But I mean, she was on Inside Edition. She was also, I think, Fox 59 here for the longest time. We had one of the victim's cousins there on this panel. We had the Hamilton County coroner. Hamilton County, right?
Yep.
Coroner. This guy lives and breathes this case. You've seen him in the documentary. I think his name's, Dustin's looking it up. It escaped me right now.
I've got it, but I don't want to mess it up because.
And there was a lady from that runs the He Knows Your Name. So she helps identify his missing victims. They've updated us that, number one, there's going to be another episode of the Fox Hollow Murders on Hulu. Another episode. They've identified 11 victims from the bones. They have 2 DNA, what do you call it, Dustin? DNA Profiles, thank you. They've got one that they're working through. They're working with down in Texas with, do you remember
Texas State or something like that?
Yeah, it's one of the University of Texas or something. Yeah. And they're helping, do this genealogy where they've done like, they got to go through like 3,000 family trees or something because a lot of these people, they don't know who they are. So they have to start somewhere.
And it takes a lot of time
money.
And I'm thinking I could be wrong. In the past, it said like to come up with a DNA profile is at least $13,000. And people were like, you're spending the county's budget, but it sounds like a lot of places are wanting to help. And I'm guessing they're probably doing it pro bono to help. I could be wrong, but there's a lot of places that do a lot of good research that are helping build these DNA profiles. And it takes a long time.
Right.
But I think within the last year, they've come up with 3 DNA profiles.
Well, so we had the one that they're working on. And just the week before this thing happened, they got another DNA profile. So we have 11 victims, and now we have two that they're trying to identify. So that's 13 victims they're trying to identify, and they still have 9,800 bones to go.
There's a lot to it, but if you live in Indiana, once again, especially if you live in Hamilton County,
vote for this guy. He's up for re-election.
Coroner Jeff Jellison is up for re-election.
Yes.
This guy, former law enforcement, like he broke down like
several times,
because this means a lot. And knowing that, like he said, knowing that some of your friends worked this case, and because, the suspect killed himself, it kind of got shut. And unfortunately, a lot of families didn't get closure. They didn't get answers. And he's helping do that. And it doesn't seem like a big thing to people on the outside, but his heart's in the right place. He's working with the best people in the country to help figure a lot of this information out to give those families closure. And like I said, super nice guy, super passionate. This is the kind of guy that you want in office because it's not political BS, even as a coroner. It's about doing the right thing, helping take that bad mark of history in his town and rectifying it. He telling the victim's story, getting the family closure, knowing who was involved. And he's just, like I said, it.
But I will say one thing. They were there to give us an update on some of the identification stuff. That's fine. So Dustin and I got there early, like we always do. And outside, they do have a monument. I posted this pictures and videos of the monument to these men that they have identified, and anybody else they identify, they're going to add to that monument. But at 6:30, they had a prayer vigil, right? And they said, "Hey, if you want to go out here to the monument, we're going to have a prayer vigil." So there was a few people in there when you say Dustin that went out for this thing. Dustin and I just said, "Hey, we'll just stay here." And when that thing was over, about 7:00, and they started walking in, there was so many people there. It was probably 400 at least, yeah, I would say, if not more.
Looking at how that theater was set up for 400 people-ish,
600 maybe?
This was a big room.
We had people sitting on the floors. We had people lined up against the walls. Dustin and I, of course, had our chairs, but
I'm going to say
there was TV cameras, there was podcasters, there was all kinds of people.
I'm going to say at least 500 to 600
at
people.
At least. But you can go listen to that entire thing on our Facebook. I posted the whole entire.
How did the audio quality come out? Was it decent?
Well, it wasn't my video. I took it straight from the He Knows Your Name website and posted it on our Facebook. So it's on there for everybody to go look. And you can also see the monument pictures.
It was a to have a case that's still developing.
Oh, and it's going to take years from now to even finish.
It was cool to see that the passion is there. And just because
we also got to meet there was a gentleman. I think he looks like Sam Elliott a little bit. If you watch the documentary, you'll know him. He's the elderly guy. He was from Boulder, Colorado. He was a detective, and he's got the white mustache like Sam Elliott. And you see him working out in the documentary. And I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm a big fan of yours." I said, "But I was tired just by watching you do lifting these weights during the documentary." But this guy, man, he sat there and he talked to Dustin and I for probably
20 minutes.
And he gave us his email. So we're going to be contacting him, asking him some questions, or even if he might even be coming on the show. We're pretty excited about that. So hang tight. We're working on this Fox Hollow Farm murder, Herb Baumeister case, if you will. There's a lot of questions and that need answered.
And Google it every now and then because there's stuff like
the updates just keep coming, man.
Because like I said, last year they had from those bone fragments they were able to make a DNA profile and find somebody, figure out who it was. There's 2 more this year, so there's movement on a case that had sat cold for a decade or 2 decades.
Right.
It's good to see that attention and right now. When it comes to technology and DNA, there's a lot of cases out there that are being put together, solved, victims being identified from stuff 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And these families are getting their closure and their stories are being told because at the end of the day, whether race, religion, sexual orientation, whatever, it does not matter. A life is a life. And a lot of these lives were ended for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And to forget about them is a tragedy.
Right. So that's why we're going to do our best on these episodes coming up shortly. So be on the lookout for that. Well, Dustin, this was just going to be a quick episode. We've already rattled on for about a half hour.
Yep. I'm going to throw out one quick shout out just because we shout out everybody. Friend of the show, Andrew Evans, that I ripped off his music to play for our intro.
Oh, thank you, Andrew.
Salt of the earth, sweetheart. Love the guy to death. He published an art book that's got some poetry in it. And if that's your kind of thing, it is Earthside Art Gardens. If you go to Instagram, you can get to his Instagram and there's a link you can click on it, send him a message if you're interested in, if you see his art, you like it, he can hook you up with a book, self-published book. like I said, art and poetry, and you can get you a copy. Also, friend of the show, Sean
Layman. Jack Wild.
Jack Wild, who may or may not be associated
we might as well go ahead and put that because that was on the docket too. We actually went to Jack Wild's book signing.
And, Middle-Aged and Creeped Out, that podcast, if you find them, you can find his first book that he published. He's got a couple more coming, a passion project for him as well that, I want to do this. I'm going to find a way, get it published. And, if you're looking for a kid's book coming up soon, he's going to have that, what I said, hopefully by Christmas.
I think so. Sometime in June, maybe.
I can't remember the dates. Like, my memory's horrible.
We'll let him give that information out so we don't slaughter it.
Sean is another person that's salt of the earth, big supporter of the show. Been a lot of help to us. Great friend.
Dustin's number one fan.
He may or may not be one of my number one fans.
The Dustin super fan, right?
Don't know why, because he's cooler than I am.
Oh, a lot cooler than you are.
But the name of, I feel bad now. I was not ready. Well, I decided to do both of these on
the spur of the moment. Is that what you did?
As Jim Cornette would say, the sperm of the moment.
It's the age of imagination, I think.
I believe you are correct.
But Dustin's going to Google that book name real quick. Maybe. If his Google machine works. He doesn't know what he's talking about, man. I don't know.
The thing is, it's like I'm looking up Sean. It's like, no, it's not. That's not his author name.
Oh, you're giving it away now. Next thing you'll tell me is American El Grande isn't, what's his name? So... author Jack Wild, his book,
The Age of Imagination.
I was right.
Awakening the Dream Within. So you can get Kindle versions. You can get it on Amazon. I'm sure you can reach out and get them directly.
I was going to say
pocket more money.
Not only that, but he will probably autograph it if you ask him to. I'm sure he won't have a problem signing it for you.
And he'll tell you how great we are, how great, whatever you want to know.
You want to tell him what they put in yours about me?
No,
it's personal.
Nope.
But
because it's my mission. It is my mission in life, and that is to give Jimbo as much crap as I can.
And Jimbo doesn't take it. So
Jimbo takes it like a
champ.
Like a champ. Huh?
I am the champ. But we just wanted to give you a little update of what's been going on behind the scenes. So hopefully everybody's doing good, and we'll talk at you later.
Yep. And
Dustin, and remember,
if you guys have topics you want to hear, I've got a couple listener suggestions we're going to work on.
Do we?
I got at least one, maybe two.
Dustin's one becomes two.
Okay, here I am. Like, you have to make it sound like people are actually responding to all this. So if there's something that you want to hear, shoot us an email, darkdiscoveriespod@gmail.com.
And Dustin, you can't write yourself.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what what you don't like, so we can get more content out to you guys that you guys want to hear. I know it feels like we got kind of stuck in a certain niche of what we've been doing topic wise. We're going to try to get that diversified a little bit more.
Well, you know what I'm working on, Dustin? You want me to tell you what I'm working on?
What are you working
Besides
on?
the Fox Hollow, I'm working on an UFO story. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I'm not big into UFOs, but I got some skyjacking. I've got all kinds of stuff up my sleeve. So don't worry about that.
And yes, for those who've been wondering, we just got done recording a Gangster and Gunman episode, so it'll be coming out soon. We haven't done one of those since October, I do believe.
Yeah, it's been a good minute since we did some of that, and it's good to do that because that's what I enjoy. I'm dark history, and that's what's good is I like a lot of different things that Jackie and Jimbo don't like.
Yeah, but we have to listen to you. No.
And the listeners are going to get a good diversity because we all are into different things.
Right. So
until next time.
Well, we just wanted to give you an update.
Spay and neuter your pets. Love one another.
And remember,
the deeper you dive,
the darker it gets.